All right, so here we go. We are still in lesson 12B. We're just calling it lesson 12BB today. We're going to continue on. So students will still be able to find the sum or difference of rational numbers. You're still going to be able to discuss whether your estimates make sense, and you're still using this to find the overall change in a bank account. So that actually leads us to our first question here. Over here, number 10 is where we left off. So it says Jenna has $125.76 in her account. So we're going to start with that number, $125.76. She then deposits. So remember, deposit means it's a positive number. So she's going to deposit $45.90. So we write that like that, $45.90. And then she withdraws. So remember, withdrawing is a negative effect to the account. Here, let's make this a little bit brighter. Woo, there it is. Withdrawing is a negative effect to the account. Ooh, too bright. So we're going to write plus negative 80.02. And then she kept adding and subtracting from her account. But this is how we would write it as an expression. It says later she returns and withdraws. Withdrawing is negative. So she's going to withdraw negative $40.50 and then deposit a check for $250. So that's just $250. If we wanted to write $250, we would write it with a decimal and zero behind it. So it says write a numerical expression, then find the sum. And so we're going to go ahead and find that sum now. So here is our overall math problem that we have to work out. And then we have to find the overall sum. So there's our numerical expression, equals, and we'll leave a spot for our answer. So let's categorize all these numbers. This first one is positive. And by the way, I already wrote these as adding problems. There's adding, there's adding, there's adding. And so we don't have to do the add the opposite because it's already all adding. So let's categorize our numbers. So we have positives and negatives. So out of the positive numbers, we have 125.76. This one's positive, so I'll write it underneath, 45.90. This one's in the negative column, so let me write that negative column over here, $80.02. This is in the negative column, $40.50. And this last one's in the positive column, and so that's $250. So I'll write it 250.00. All right, so if they're in the same column, we're going to go ahead and add them up. 6 and nothing is 6. 7 and 9 is 16. Carry the 1. Bring down the decimal. 5 and 5 is 10. Plus 1 more is 11. Carry the 1. 2 and 1 is 3. 3 and 4 is 7. 7 and 5 is 12. Carry the 1. And 2 plus 1 is 4. So she made $421.66 was her positive number. Her negative amount, let's add these up. That's 2, that's 5, bring down the decimal, that's 0, that's 12. That one was a little easier to add. All right, so these are our overall negative values. Those are our overall positive values. Do I have more positive or more negative? Well, I have more positive, and the way we figure that out is doing some subtraction there. So let's go ahead and line that up over here. $421.66 were the overall positives. Take out the $120.52. Those were our negatives. And let's see what we get. 6 take away 2 is 4. 6 take away 5 is 1. Bring down the decimal. 1 take away 0 is 1. 2 take away 2 is 0. And 4 take away 1 is 3. So overall, her account still went up at the end of all of this. $301.14 in the positive because we had more deposits, more positive values than we had negative values. All right, let's go ahead and try that with Julio. Made deposits of $84.09. So remember, deposit means positive. $84.09. And then, that's another deposit, $19.23. And that's another deposit, $29 into his checking account. He then wrote checks. So when you write a check, he then wrote checks for these amounts. Checks are taking money away from your account. So that means we're going to add a negative $53.87. and negative $38.99. All right, so this one's set up a little bit nicer because they did all the deposits in a row and then all the checks in a row. And so we just have to combine the ones that are the like sign, that are all the same sign. So let's go ahead and stack those up. 8409, 1923, and $29. Remember, 0.00. Okay, when we add all those up, we have 12, carry the 1, and 3, and decimal, and 9 and 9 is 18, and 4 is 22, 8 and 2 is 10, 11, 12, 13. So altogether, he had deposits of $132.32. Let's look at his checks, his withdrawals. So we have 53.87, 38.99. Let's see those. So that's 16. That's 18. Break down the decimal. Let's see. That would be 4 and 8 is 12. 6 and 3 is 9. And so altogether, he took out $92.86. So did he put in more or take out more? Well, he put in more. So what would be the overall change to his account balance? Well, let's see. 132.32 minus 92.86. Can't take 6 from 2, so let's borrow from the 3, make it a 2. Make that a 12. 12 minus 6 I can do, that's 6. Here I need to borrow again. Oops. So 12 minus 8 is going to give me 4. Bring down the decimal, borrow again. 11 minus 2 is 9, borrow again. And 12 minus 9 is going to give me 3. All right, so that tells me, did we have more positive or more negative? There was a positive change of $39.46. So overall, his account went up. Overall, that was Julio. So Julio's account goes up or went up $39.46. So his account still went up. All right, now the scary part, the fractions into decimals. So if we see mixed numbers and decimals in the same problem like we have in these 3 problems, we want to change all fractions to decimals. And that's really going to be your easiest way to work this out. You could change from decimal back to fraction. It's just a little bit more difficult. But as long as your fraction changes to a nice decimal, a decimal that's not repeating. So let's write underneath that, not repeating or going on forever. If it's not a really big decimal, let's change all fractions to decimals. So let's look at this one, 3 3/4. So I know this whole number 3 would be like $3. That goes in front of the decimal. So really all I have to do is focus on this small part, the fractional piece, this little decimal part. So let's big or top dog in the doghouse. We actually don't want to change it big by the bottom at the top here because we're trying to change it into a decimal. So let's do top dog in the doghouse. 3 goes inside, 4 outside. We can't take 4 out of 3. Or sorry, we can't take any groups of 4 out of 3. So I put a little X there, decimal, put our little decimal at a 0. How many 4s can I take out of 30? Well, that would be 7. We have 2 left over, bring down a 0. And 4 into 20, we can take out 5 groups of 4. So that part tells me that the decimal right here, I'll rewrite it over here to the side. The decimal part of that is going to be a 0.75. So that means 3 3/4 can be rewritten as 3.75 minus a negative means add the opposite. So we're going to add 2.5 to that. And so our overall answer is pretty simple to figure out after that part. There, we can add it up. 5 and 0 is 5. 7 and 5 is 12. Carry the 1. That's 4 and 5 and 6, so that would be 6. So we get the answer of 6.25. So my suggestion would just be change the fractions to decimals and then add or subtract. All right, let's look at number 13. I see the whole number part in front of this is -2, so I'm going to go ahead and write -2. I'm going to put the decimal there because that's where the whole number ends and the fraction starts. So now I just have to figure out what 1/4 would be as a decimal. You might have that one memorized, but if you don't, you can divide. We can't take any 4s out of 1, decimal, decimal, 0. So now 4s out of 10. I could take 2 4s out of 10. That gives me 8. I would have 2 left over. So 0, bring it down. And how many 4s can I take out of 20? Well, I could take out 5 groups of 4. And I would have nothing left there. So that means the decimal part of this would be 0.25. So that really says negative 2.25 plus 4.3. Do I have more negatives or more positives? Well, I have more positives here, so we'll subtract 4.3 minus 2.25, adding in that 0. And let's borrow. We get 5 and 0 and decimal and 2. So that means we would have 2.05, and we had more positives, so our answer is positive. All right, let's try one more of those. 1 3/8 plus negative 3.25. 1 3/8, so 1 and let's figure out what 3/8 is. 3 divided by 8, that would be 0.0. 8 into 30 would be 3. We have 24 from that. We would have 6 left over. 0, bring it down. Oh, this one just keeps going a little bit more. How many 8s can I take out of 60? Well, that would be 7. That gives me 56. We have 4 left over, and I see there is an end in sight. When I bring down a 0, how many 8s can I take out of 40? Well, I could take out 5. That would give me exactly 40, so that's where it stops. So that means 1 3/8 could be rewritten as 1.375 plus the negative 3.25 that was already written there as a decimal. So let's go ahead and figure that out now. Do I have more positives or more negatives? Well, I have more negatives. And so I'm going to subtract 3.25 minus 1.375, filling in the 0, and borrowing. 10 minus 5 is 5, borrow again. 14 minus 7 is 7, borrow again. 11 minus 3 is 8, bring down the decimal, and 2 minus 1 is 1. And so we get our final answer of 1.875. There it is. And we had more negatives there. So let's make sure that we include that negative symbol, negative 1.875. Always check for that. So we had more negatives there, our answer's negative, more positives there, so our answer's positive, and up here, they were both positive, so we just added them together. All right, so that's it for today. The hardest part is changing the mixed fraction into a decimal. If you have any troubles, let me know. I'm sitting at that back conference table just for you. So try the exit ticket and let me know if you need help. Have a great day. Yay, math.